Hey, listen up. If you're the type of person who's always second-guessing their worth, always playing the role of the backup plan, then this message is for you. It's time to stop waiting around for people to prioritize you. You are not a second choice. You are not the last resort. Today we're talking about how to step into your own power, claim your spot as the number one priority, and finally start living the life you deserve. Let me tell you, when you start making yourself the priority, everything around you changes for the better. Do you want to know the secret to having people respect your time, energy, and presence? It's not about begging for their attention or approval. It's about understanding your worth, setting the standard, and making sure you are the priority. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to stop being the backup plan and start being the main event in your own life. Step 1, self-worth. Self-worth is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. It's how you view yourself, how much value you place on your own existence, and how you allow others to treat you based on that perception. A person with high self-worth knows deep down that they deserve respect, love, and success. They recognize their own unique qualities, strengths, and capabilities. This awareness comes from within, not from seeking external validation. When you truly understand your worth, you stop accepting anything less than what you deserve. It's about recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are, without needing to change for anyone else's approval. If you constantly feel like you have to prove yourself, like you're always fighting for attention or respect, it's because you haven't fully embraced your self-worth. You're chasing something that should already be yours by default: respect, kindness, and acknowledgement. People with a strong sense of self-worth are not easily shaken by criticism or negative opinions from others. They understand that what others think of them is not a reflection of who they truly are, but rather a projection of that person's own biases, insecurities, and limitations. In contrast, when you don't see your own worth, you allow others to define you. You start accepting less than what you're truly deserving of, whether it's in relationships, careers, or other areas of your life. You settle because you don't believe you can have anything better, but that's far from the truth. The journey to building self-worth isn't an overnight transformation. It takes time, introspection, and most importantly, action. It involves shedding old beliefs about yourself that no longer serve you and replacing them with a mindset of empowerment. It means setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, disrespect you, or make you feel small. It's about choosing to prioritize your own well-being and happiness over trying to fit into someone else's expectation. When you start to make decisions based on what's best for you, not what others want or expect, you're starting to embrace your self-worth. Self-worth isn't arrogance. It's confidence grounded in reality. It's knowing that you are valuable, not because of your achievements or the approval of others, but simply because you exist. It's a quiet strength that doesn't need to announce itself. When you know your worth, you don't feel the need to convince anyone of it. Your actions, decisions, and energy do all the talking for you. You become magnetic because you exude a sense of inner peace and self-respect. Others will naturally gravitate toward you, not because you demand it, but because you have a powerful sense of self that commands respect. At its core, self-worth is about accepting yourself fully flaws and all. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, embracing your imperfections, and not letting anyone make you feel like you're less than who you truly are. You stop allowing fear, doubt, or insecurity to control your life. Instead, you walk through the world with the understanding that you are enough, just as you are, and that anyone who sees your value will respect you for it. Step 2, setting boundaries is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It's about understanding your limits emotionally, physically, and mentally, and ensuring that others respect them. Boundaries are not about building walls or pushing people away. They're about defining where you end and where others begin. They're essential for protecting your well-being, maintaining healthy relationships, and ensuring that your time and energy are not exploited or drained by others. The process of setting boundaries starts with self-awareness. You have to be in tune with yourself to know what feels right and what feels wrong, what drains you, what makes you feel uncomfortable, disrespected, or exhausted. These are signs that you need to set a boundary. Often people don't set boundaries because they fear confrontation or rejection. They're afraid of disappointing others or being labeled as difficult. But the reality is, by not setting boundaries, you are allowing others to dictate how you feel, what you do, and how much of yourself you give. Boundaries are crucial in all areas of life, whether it's in your relationships with family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers. In personal relationships, setting boundaries ensures that you treat it with the respect you deserve. It means saying no when you're stretched too thin or when someone asks for more than you can give. It's about letting people know that you value yourself enough to not tolerate behavior that makes you uncomfortable or that goes against your values. In work or professional settings, boundaries help you manage your time effectively. You may need to set limits on how often you're available for meetings, phone calls, or tasks that are outside your primary responsibilities. By doing so, you prevent burnout and maintain a healthy work-life balance. But setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying yes to yourself. It's about recognizing that you have the right to protect your energy, your time, and your mental space. When you set a boundary, you're not being selfish. You're being self-aware and self-respecting. You're acknowledging that your needs matter, that you are worthy of the same respect and consideration you give to others. Boundaries help you avoid becoming a doormat for people who are constantly demanding your attention, time, or energy without reciprocating. At times, setting boundaries can be uncomfortable, especially when you're not used to asserting yourself. It may take practice and courage, but once you start, it becomes easier. The key is to be firm but respectful. You don't need to apologize for setting boundaries. You don't need to justify or explain your reasons. People who respect you will understand that your boundaries are not personal, but a reflection of how much you value yourself. People who don't respect your boundaries will reveal their true intentions and might try to manipulate or guilt trip you into changing your stance. And that's when you have to stay strong and stick to your boundaries. You have the right to say no without feeling guilty, and you have the right to change your mind if something no longer feels right. Setting boundaries also means knowing when it's time to walk away from situations or people that consistently cross your limits. It might mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships that drain your energy or don't align with your values. It's a difficult but necessary step to take, in order to preserve your peace of mind and emotional health. Walking away doesn't mean you're giving up or being unkind. It means you're choosing yourself over an unhealthy dynamic. As you continue to set boundaries, you'll notice that the people around you start treating you with more respect. The more you honor your own needs, the more others will begin to honor them as well. Boundaries teach people how to treat you, and they help create a sense of mutual respect in all interactions. As your boundaries become clearer, you'll begin to see that your life becomes more balanced, more peaceful, and more aligned with your true desires. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or resentful because you'll know you have the power to control your time, energy, and space. Step 3, take charge of your life. Taking charge of your life means stepping into the driver's seat and refusing to let anyone else dictate your direction. It's about understanding that the power to shape your future lies in your own hands, and that every decision you make has the potential to impact your life. When you take charge, you stop waiting for permission, validation, or an external force to determine your path. You recognize that your life is your own responsibility, and it's up to you to make it what you want it to be. At its core, taking charge is about being proactive instead of reactive. It's about taking ownership of the choices you make and understanding that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to your overall journey. People often fall into the trap of living on autopilot, letting life happen to them rather than actively participating in shaping their reality. But when you take charge, you stop accepting things as they are if they don't align with your vision for your life. You refuse to let circumstances, fear, or self-doubt keep you from pursuing your goals. One of the first steps in taking charge is setting clear intention. You have to know where you want to go and what you want to achieve. This doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out, but it does mean you need a sense of direction. What do you truly desire? What are your goals, dreams, and aspirations? Once you have clarity about where you want to go, you can start building a plan to get there. Taking charge means having the courage to commit to your goals even when the road ahead is unclear or difficult. It means refusing to let fear of failure or the opinions of others hold you back. Another aspect of taking charge is making decisions with confidence. Too many people spend their lives paralyzed by indecision, constantly second-guessing themselves and waiting for the perfect time or the perfect circumstances. But the reality is the perfect time never comes. Life is always in motion and there will always be uncertainties. What matters is not waiting for everything to align perfectly, but taking action with the information and resources you have at the moment. You make the best decision you can, and then you move forward. Taking charge means trusting yourself enough to make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals, even if they seem risky or unconventional. Taking charge also involves taking responsibility for your actions and their outcome. Too often people blame their circumstances, other people, or external forces for where they are in life. While it's true that external factors can influence your situation, your reaction to those factors is entirely within your control. If things aren't going the way you want, it's important to reflect on what role you've played in creating that situation. Are you holding yourself accountable for your choices, or are you deflecting responsibility? Taking charge means recognizing that you are the architect of your life, and if something isn't working, you have the power to change it. There's also a level of self-discipline involved when you take charge of your life. It's easy to get distracted, to fall into the trap of procrastination, or to let laziness take over. But when you're in charge, you hold yourself accountable. You establish habits and routines that help you stay on track, and you eliminate distractions that are preventing you from reaching your goals. Taking charge means understanding that success doesn't happen by chance. It happens through consistent effort, focus, and discipline. It's about committing to the process even when it's tough, and knowing that every small step counts toward your larger vision. Furthermore, taking charge of your life means being resilient in the face of setbacks. Life is going to throw challenges your way. There's no way around it. But when you take charge, you stop letting obstacles defeat you. Instead, you see them as opportunities for growth. Every failure, every disappointment, and every setback becomes a lesson rather than a roadblock. You develop the mindset of someone who is not easily deterred by difficulty, but instead uses adversity as fuel for greater determination. Taking charge means having the mental toughness to keep going, even when things get hard, because you know that persistence will eventually pay off. A big part of taking charge also involves developing a sense of inner strength. It's about building confidence in your abilities and trusting that you have what it takes to overcome whatever challenges come your way. It means believing in yourself, even when others doubt you, and not allowing the opinions or expectations of others to sway you from your path. When you take charge of your life, you are your own biggest supporter, and you know that no one else can dictate your potential except for you. Lastly, taking charge means being adaptable. Life is unpredictable and things won't always go according to plan. But when you're in control, you stay flexible and adjust your course when needed. You don't get stuck in rigid ways of thinking or approach. You adapt, learn from new experiences, and evolve. This adaptability keeps you from feeling overwhelmed when things don't go as planned, and it empowers you to make new choices as circumstances change. When you take charge of your life, you stop being a passenger, waiting for things to happen to you. Instead, you become the driver, steering your own journey and taking full responsibility for the direction you're heading. You realize that you are the one who holds the key to your success and happiness, and you stop waiting for permission from anyone else to live the life you've always dreamed of. Taking charge is the ultimate act of self-empowerment. It's about embracing your ability to shape your destiny, regardless of the obstacles or challenges in your path. Step 4, value your time. Valuing your time is one of the most crucial aspects of personal growth and success. Time is a resource that, once lost, can never be regained. It's something that's equally distributed to everyone, rich or poor, young or old, and it's how you use that time that determines the trajectory of your life. Many people fail to recognize the immense value of their time, often spending it on things, people, or activities that don't align with their goals, dreams, or well-being. When you truly value your time, you make conscious decisions about how you spend each moment, recognizing that every second counts. At the core of valuing your time is the understanding that time is finite. We all have a limited amount of it, and yet so many of us treat it as if it's infinite, wasting hours scrolling through social media, engaging in meaningless conversations, or procrastinating. But when you see time as the precious commodity that it is, you start making different choices. You stop allowing distractions to take over, and you begin to prioritize activities that align with your values. You stop living on autopilot and start living intentionally, with purpose and direction. Valuing your time means respecting your own needs and understanding that your time is valuable, even when you're not producing or doing something. It's about learning to say no to things that don't serve you, to activities that drain your energy, or to people who do not respect your time. In a world where everyone is trying to get your attention, you must learn how to protect your most precious asset, your time. By valuing your time, you create boundaries that protect your mental, emotional, and physical energy. It means saying no to things that waste your time, whether it's low-priority tasks, meaningless distractions, or relationships that don't bring you joy or growth. When you value your time, you also begin to value your productivity. You realize that each day presents an opportunity to move closer to your goals, and you don't want to waste that. Every task, every project, every responsibility becomes an opportunity to advance yourself and your ambitions. You begin to manage your time effectively, breaking larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps and focusing on completing them without getting sidetracked. By valuing your time, you get better at organizing your day, prioritizing tasks, and making sure that the things you do each day are aligned with your larger vision. Time management also plays a significant role in valuing your time. It's not enough to just be busy. You need to be busy with purpose. Time management involves setting clear goals, creating a schedule, and sticking to it. It's about knowing exactly what you want to accomplish and allocating the necessary time to complete those tasks. Good time management isn't just about filling your calendar with tasks. It's about making sure those tasks are meaningful, impactful, and contributing to your long-term vision. This means setting deadlines, creating routines, and using your time efficiently so that you don't waste precious hours on things that don't matter. A key element of valuing your time is understanding the importance of rest and recovery. Many people overwork themselves, thinking that working harder and longer hours will lead to greater success. But this mentality can backfire, leading to burnout, stress, and decreased productivity. When you value your time, you also understand the importance of balance. You make time for self-care, relaxation, and activities that rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. This isn't about being lazy or unproductive. It's about recognizing that in order to perform at your best, you need to give yourself the space to rest and recharge. When you give yourself the time to reset, you return to your tasks with more focus, energy, and creativity. Valuing your time also means being mindful of how you spend your time with others. Relationships are an important part of life, but it's essential to evaluate whether the people you surround yourself with are contributing positively to your time and energy. Are the relationships you're investing in supporting your growth, your dreams, and your well-being, or are they draining you, leaving you feeling exhausted or unfulfilled? When you value your time, you become more discerning about who you allow into your life and how much time you give to each person. You recognize that your time is too valuable to be spent in relationships that don't uplift or inspire you. Ultimately, valuing your time is about taking full responsibility for how you spend each day. It's about recognizing that you have control over how you spend your time, and that every moment is an opportunity to make progress towards your goals, build relationships, and take care of yourself. When you value your time, you make choices that reflect your goals and your vision, and you actively work towards creating the life you desire. Time becomes a tool in your hands, not something that's slipping away from you without your control. Step 5, stop chasing validation. Stopping the chase for validation is one of the most freeing and empowering things you can do for your mental and emotional well-being. For many people, seeking validation from others is an ingrained habit, one that feels almost impossible to break. We live in a society that places so much emphasis on external approval, whether it's from friends, family, co-workers, or even strangers on social media, that it becomes easy to fall into the trap of measuring our worth based on what others think of us. But when you chase validation, you hand over your power to other people. You let their opinions dictate how you feel about yourself. This can create a cycle of dependence on external praise that can never truly fulfill you. The first step in stopping the chase for validation is realizing that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel good about yourself. Your worth is not defined by someone else's opinion of you. You are valuable simply because you exist, not because of how many likes, compliments, or acknowledgments you receive from others. It's about learning to validate yourself instead of relying on external sources to make you feel worthy. Self-conjugation comes from within. It's rooted in your own understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and the value you bring to the world. When you stop chasing validation, you begin to take ownership of your feelings and emotions. Instead of waiting for someone to tell you that you're doing a good job, you start recognizing your own progress and achievement. You stop needing constant reassurance and learn to trust your own judgment. This inner trust and confidence become a foundation that doesn't waver when others fail to acknowledge your efforts or when criticism comes your way. You begin to realize that you don't need other people to confirm your worth because you already know your value. In the pursuit of validation, people often mold themselves to fit the expectations of others. They change their behavior, appearance, and decisions to please those around them. But this comes at a cost. It erodes your sense of authenticity. When you're constantly seeking external validation, you lose touch with who you truly are. You start living according to someone else's standards instead of your own. You might find yourself in situations where you feel disconnected, frustrated, or even resentful because you're not being true to yourself. Stopping the chase for validation means letting go of the need to please everyone and instead focusing on staying authentic to your own values, desires, and passions. A huge part of this is learning how to set boundaries with people who constantly demand validation from you or who expect you to seek their approval. These are the people who might constantly tell you how you should behave, what you should wear, or who you should be with. Their opinions are often given with the expectation that you will seek their approval before making decisions. But when you stop chasing validation, you start saying no to these external pressures. You recognize that you are the only one who has the right to define your path, and you stop letting others define it for you. You set boundaries that protect your sense of self, and you prioritize your own well-being over the need for others' acceptance. At the heart of stopping the chase for validation is the recognition that your true value comes from within. When you know your worth, you stop looking to others to confirm it. You stop seeking approval and start seeking growth. You stop relying on the opinions of others to shape how you feel about yourself and instead take responsibility for your own self-esteem. You become your own biggest cheerleader, and you learn to validate yourself without needing anyone else's permission. This shift is liberating. It gives you the freedom to live authentically, to pursue your goals without fear of judgment, and to feel confident in your decisions, regardless of whether others approve or not. 6, surround yourself with people who prioritize you. Surrounding yourself with people who prioritize you is one of the most important steps you can take in building a fulfilling and healthy life. Many of us spend a lot of time, energy, and effort in relationships where we're not truly valued, and over time, this can drain our emotional resources. When you are surrounded by people who prioritize you, however, you experience a deep sense of support, love, and respect that enhances every area of your life. These are the people who see your worth, recognize your needs, and invest in your well-being without hesitation. They don't just say they care about you, their actions align with their words. They make you feel important, seen, and heard, and in return you can give your best self to them too. The key to finding people who prioritize you is recognizing that not everyone deserves a place in your life. Too often we hold on to relationships out of a sense of obligation, nostalgia, or fear of being alone. We might stay in friendships or even romantic relationships where we're constantly giving but not receiving the same level of care or attention in return. This can create an imbalance, leaving us feeling drained, unappreciated, and undervalued. However, when you make the decision to surround yourself with people who prioritize you, you begin to see that your time, energy, and love are precious. You deserve to be surrounded by those who make you feel safe, supported, and truly cared for. People who prioritize you will show up when you need them most. They won't disappear when things get tough or when you're going through a challenging time. Instead, they'll offer their help, provide a listening ear, and be there for you without hesitation. These are the kinds of relationships where there is a genuine sense of reciprocity. They invest their time and energy in you, and you do the same for them. It's not about keeping score, it's about mutual respect, love, and understanding. These relationships are built on trust, where both parties know that they can rely on each other no matter what. One of the most important aspects of surrounding yourself with people who prioritize you is that they allow you to be your authentic self. In relationships where you're not truly prioritized, you may find yourself constantly adjusting your behavior, opinions, or values to fit in or to avoid conflict. But with people who genuinely care about you, you don't have to put on a mask or hide parts of who you are. You can be honest, open, and true to yourself without fear of judgment or rejection. These are the people who accept you as you are, flaws and all, and love you because of it, not despite it. Moreover, people who prioritize you will encourage your growth and success. They'll celebrate your achievements no matter how big or small, and they'll push you to be the best version of yourself. They won't hold you back out of jealousy or insecurity, but will support your ambitions and dreams. These are the people who will remind you of your worth when you forget it, who will cheer you on when you face challenges, and who will help you see your potential even when you doubt yourself. They invest in your growth just as you invest in theirs, creating a dynamic of mutual encouragement and empowerment. Surrounding yourself with people who prioritize you also means setting boundaries with those who don't. Not everyone will be able to prioritize you, and that's okay. Some people may not have the capacity to give you the love and care you deserve, and it's important to recognize when a relationship isn't serving you. When you prioritize yourself, you learn to discern which relationships are worth nurturing and which ones need to be let go of. This doesn't mean you should discard people at the first sign of conflict or difficulty, but it does mean you should value yourself enough to walk away from relationships that consistently drain you or make you feel less than. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and by doing so, you make room for the people who truly value and prioritize you. People who prioritize you also understand the importance of balance in relationships. They recognize that relationships are not one-sided and that it takes effort from both parties to maintain a healthy, thriving connection. These are the people who check in on you, who listen to your concerns, who ask how they can support you, and who offer help when they see you're struggling. They respect your time, your needs, and your space, but they also make sure you feel valued and appreciated. They won't take you for granted or leave you hanging when you need them most. Instead, they will consistently show up for you, demonstrating through their actions that you matter. It's also important to note that when you surround yourself with people who prioritize you, you create a sense of community and belonging. This support system becomes a solid foundation for navigating life's ups and downs. Whether it's a difficult work situation, a personal loss, or a period of self-doubt, the people who prioritize you will stand by your side. They become your safety net, and you become theirs. They will remind you that you're not alone in facing challenges, and together you can work through anything that comes your way. This sense of belonging is crucial for mental and emotional well-being, as it provides a sense of security and comfort that helps you face life with greater resilience. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with people who prioritize you is an act of self-love. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by individuals who lift you up, who support you through the good times and the bad, and who help you grow into the best version of yourself. These relationships become a source of strength, motivation, and joy. They allow you to thrive, to be your authentic self, and to feel seen and heard in a way that nourishes your soul. As we wrap up today, remember this: you are worthy of being the priority in your own life. Stop seeking validation from others. Value your time and surround yourself with people who lift you up. Don't settle for being anyone's backup plan. Make sure you're at the top of your own list. Life is too short to wait around for others to recognize your worth. Take charge, set your boundaries, and most importantly, put yourself first. When you do that, you unlock your true potential and step into the life you've always dreamed of. It's your time to shine. Own it.